Welcome, adventurers and storytellers, to the Forgotten Realms Notebook, where we explore the legends, myths, and the characters that shape the world of Dungeons & Dragons. I'm your host, Sleighthand, and today we'll be traveling to the Celestial Sphere to bask in the light of one of the realm's most iconic deities, Salûne, the Moon Maiden. Whether you're a dungeon master weaving a rich tapestry of gods into your campaign, a player seeking inspiration for a devout character, simply a lover of lore, Selûne's story is something for everyone. Her tale is one of cosmic creation, eternal conflict, and boundless hope. But who is Selûne really? And why is her influence felt so deeply across the planes? What can her story teach us about the game we love and perhaps about ourselves? Over the next couple of minutes, we'll explore Selûne's origins, her role in the Pantheon, her eternal rivalry with her sister Shar, and her influence of mortal lives in gameplay. So grab your spellbook, light a candle, maybe a moonstone, and let's begin. To understand Selûne, we first have to go back, far back, to the very beginning. Before the material plane, before mortals, before even the gods as we know them. Selûne and Shar are among the oldest beings in the cosmos, twin deities born of primordial chaos. Together they created the worlds and the heavens, but their unity was shattered by a conflict as ancient as time itself. Their story begins in the endless void of the astral sea, where there was no light, no dark, only the boundless potential of creation. Selûne and Shar emerged as twin aspects of a single force, embodying light and dark, life and death, hope and despair. It was their combined power that set the cosmos in motion. But as is so often the case in great myths, creation came at a cost. And Shar's unity did not last long. The creation of the multiverse demanded balance. But balances are rarely peaceful. The first fracture between the sisters came over the differing visions for existence. Selûne, the Moon Maiden, sought to bring light to the darkness, warmth to the cold void. Her sister, Shar, the Mistress of the Night, wished for the cosmos to remain shrouded in the shadow, a realm of stillness and silence. This divergence led to the First Great War of the Planes, a conflict so vast and devastating that its echoes still shape the Forgotten Realms today. The sisters turned their divine powers against each other, clashes spilling light and shadow across the astral sea. In one of her most significant acts, Selûne reached into her own divine essence, tearing away part of her power to create the goddess Mistral, the first incarnation of Mistral, the deity of magic. Mistral became the custodian of the weave, the foundation of all arcane magic. Through this act, Selûne ensured that mortals would have access to magic, a force that could illuminate even the darkest corners of existence. But this act of creation only deepened the rift between the sisters. Shar, enraged by Selûne's defiance, unleashed her full fury, attempting to unravel the weave and plunge the cosmos into eternal night. Their battle became the origin of the celestial spheres, the stars, the moons, and the planets, all born from the chaos of their divine war. Despite her wounds and her sister's relentless attacks, Selûne persevered. With the aid of Mistral and other forces of light, she pushed Shar back. Though neither sister could destroy the other, their conflict remains an eternal struggle, an unending dance of light and dark across the heavens. What makes this myth so compelling is how it reflects the duality of existence. Selûne and Shar are not just deities, they are cosmic forces, personifications of light and dark, creation and destruction, hope and despair. Their story is not one of simple good versus evil, no. Instead, it's a reminder that both light and darkness are essential, that one cannot exist without the other. But Selûne's light isn't passive. It's a defiant light, a beacon that endures despite the overwhelming power of the darkness. Her story resonates because it's both resilient, about finding hope even in the face of despair. For mortals in the Forgotten Realms and for players at the table, this theme is universal. How often do we find ourselves struggling against forces we cannot fully defeat, yet, refusing to give up? That is Selûne's essence. Let's take a closer look at this rivalry. Selûne and Shar aren't just cosmic opposites. No, they're deeply entwined, their relationship complex and layered. In some myths, they're described as sisters, born of the same divine essence. In others, they are portrayed as two sides of a single coin, inseparable even as they war endlessly. Shar's hatred for Selûne isn't just about light versus darkness, it's deeply personal. Shar views Selûne's actions, her creation of Mistral, her defiance in bringing light to the cosmos, as betrayals. For Shar, the darkness is not just a void, it's her sanctuary, her identity. Selûne's life is an affront, a constant reminder of what Shar sees as her sister's arrogance. And yet, Selûne doesn't seek to destroy Shar. No. Unlike her sister, Selûne understands that there's necessity in balance. She knows that light without darkness loses its meaning, just as hope without despair becomes hollow. And in this way, Selûne's struggle against Shar isn't just about conquest. No, it's about a coexistence, about ensuring that darkness doesn't consume everything. Their rivalry is more than a myth, it's a cosmic truth that plays out across the planes. The phases of the moon, the cycle of night and day, the ebb and flow of emotions, all reflections of this eternal dance. And for mortals, their conflicts become a lens through which we can explore our own struggles with duality. Think about your own campaigns. What happens when you introduce Selûne and Shar's active forces? Perhaps the party stumbles upon an ancient temple dedicated to Selûne, only to find it desecrated by the followers of Shar. Or maybe a character who worships Selûne begins to question their faith when confronted with the seductive allure of Shar's promises. The possibilities are as endless as the stars in Selûne's night sky. The myths remind us also of the stakes involved. Selûne's light isn't just a metaphor, it's a literal shield against the encroaching darkness of Shar's power. Without Selûne, the planes would fall into shadow, the weave unraveling, its magic fading into nothingness. But Shar is not without her own appeal. For some, the darkness offers comfort, a place to hide from pain and fear. Shar's power is insidious, her whispers promising peace and oblivion. This duality makes their rivalry all the more fascinating, a battle not just of gods, but of ideals. And so Selûne and Shar's conflict continues, a timeless struggle written into the stars. But Selûne is not defined solely by her rivalry. She is a goddess in her own right, with her own relationships, her own followers, and her own legacy. In our next segment, we'll explore Selûne's role within the pantheon of the Forgotten Realms. From her alliances with Mystra and Lathander to her influence on mortal lives, Selûne's story is far richer than a simple tale of light versus dark. Selûne's significance extends far beyond her eternal conflict with Shar. She occupies a central place in the pantheon of the Forgotten Realms. Influence is felt across divine alliances and mortal lives alike. Now let's start with her relationship with other deities. One of her most prominent allies is Mystra, the goddess of magic. As we discussed earlier, Selûne played a direct role in Mistral's creation, shaping the foundation of magic in the multiverse. This connection means Selûne has always had a vested interest in the weave and those who wield it. She often works alongside Mystra to safeguard magic from threats, ensuring its power is neither corrupted nor lost. But her alliances don't end there. Selûne also has strong ties to Lathander, the Morning Lord. As the god of dawn, renewal, and vitality, Lathander represents the light that follows Selûne's night. Together, their domains create a cycle of hope and perseverance, symbolizing the promise of a new day even in the darkest times. Worshippers of Selûne often find themselves allied with Lathander's faith, their shared values forging bonds of community and mutual support. Interestingly, Selûne's alliances are not limited to deities of light. She is known for her compassionate nature, her willingness to see beyond surface-level divisions. This extends to her followers, who often welcome outcasts and wanderers into their folds. For many, Selûne is a goddess of second chances, a divine presence that guides them towards redemption. Take, for example, her relationship with Elistre, the drow goddess of beauty, song, and freedom. Elistre represents hope for the drow, offering them a path away from the cruelty of Loth's domain. Though their domains are distinct, Selûne and Elistre share a deep connection. Both goddesses embody the idea of finding light in the darkness, of transcending one's origins to embrace a brighter future. But it's not just deities who feel Selûne's touch. No, her influence on mortal lives is profound and multifaceted. As the goddess of the moon, Selûne is deeply connected to cycles and rhythms, those of nature, magic, and even mortal emotions. For sailors, Selûne is a guiding light, her moon illuminating the treacherous waters of the sea and the fallen stars. Many seafarers cling to her for safe passage. Their ships adorned with silver crescent symbols to invoke her protection. Similarly, travelers and wanderers look to Selûne as a patron, her light a beacon in the wilderness. And then there are the lycanthropes, the werewolves, the shape-changers who live under the moon's influence. Selûne's relationship with these beings is complex. For those who seek to control their transformation, Selûne offers guidance and solace, her priests teaching rituals to channel the moon's power. But for those who revel in their curse, who embrace the chaos in their dual nature, Selûne's light becomes a force of judgment, a reminder of the balance they'd forsaken. Selûne's connection to emotions and mental states is another fascinating aspect of her domain. She is often invoked by those seeking clarity, her light a metaphor for illumination and understanding. For mortals grappling grief, loss, and uncertainty, Selûne offers comfort, her presence a reminder that even in the darkest nights, the moon will rise again. This aspect of her worship resonates deeply with adventurers. After all, what is an adventurer if not a wanderer, someone who's searching for meaning in a vast and dangerous world? Selûne's teachings encourage her followers to embrace change, to find strength in their journey, no matter how uncertain the path may seem. Now, let's talk about the places where Selûne's presence is most deeply felt, her temples and shrines. Temples dedicated to Selûne are often built under open skies, designed to let the moonlight flood their sanctuaries. These spaces are adorned with silver and blue motifs, their architecture reflecting the goddess's celestial nature. Some of the most famous temples, like the House of the Moon in Waterdeep, are not only places of worship, but also centers of healing and refuge. Priestesses of Selûne, often called Silver Stars, play a vital role in their communities. They are healers, oracles, and protectors, offering aid to anyone in need, regardless of their background. Their rituals are often involved in moonlight ceremonies where participants reflect on their struggles and find solace in Selûne's light. One unique feature of Selûne's worship is her acceptance of all those who come to her, regardless of their past. Her followers include former thieves, exiles, and even those who once served darker powers. To Selûne, redemption is always possible, and as long as one is willing to embrace the light. This inclusivity is reflected in her holy days, the most significant of which is the Night of the Moon. Held under a full moon, this festival celebrates Selûne's light, with rituals involving dances, song, and offerings of silver. Worshippers gather to share their stories of their journeys, their struggles, and even their triumphs, creating a tapestry of hope and resilience. Now, let's bring this all back for a moment to the gaming table. How does Selûne's presence influence your campaigns? For players, a cleric or paladin devoted to Selûne offers rich storytelling opportunities. Now, let's imagine a character who draws strength from the moon, their powers waxing and waning with its phases. Perhaps they've taken up Selûne's cause to protect the vulnerable, their faith guiding them through even the darkest of dungeons. For DMs, Selûne provides countless hooks for adventure. Her temples might be under attack by cultists of Shar, their sacred relics stolen or desecrated. Or perhaps the party encounters a mysterious silver star, her cryptic warnings hinting at a celestial threat that only they can stop. The duality of Selûne and Shar also makes for compelling moral dilemmas. What happens when a follower of Selûne discovers that their actions have tipped the balance a little too far, allowing darkness to grow unchecked? How do they reconcile their devotion to the light without the necessity of shadow? Selûne's story is one of light and darkness, hope and despair, creation and destruction. But more than that, it's a story about resilience. The kind of resilience that keeps the moon rising night after night, no matter how dark the sky may seem. In our final segment, we're going to explore how Selûne's legacy endures, not just in the Forgotten Realms, but in the imagination of players and DMs alike. So stay tuned for this next segment. Throughout this journey, we've seen Selûne as a goddess of light, balance, and resilience, but her impact goes beyond the myths and stories of the Forgotten Realms. Selûne's enduring appeal lies in what she represents, the universal struggles we all face, and the hope that guides us through them all. Selûne's duality speaks to the complexity of existence. She reminds us that light and darkness are not simply opposing forces, but complementary elements of a greater whole. Just as the moon waxes and wanes, our lives are marked by cycles of joy and sorrow, strength and vulnerability. Selûne teaches us to embrace these cycles, to find beauty in both the light and the shadow. For players and storytellers, Selûne is a source of endless inspiration. Her themes resonate deeply because they reflect our own experiences. When a character turns to her for guidance, they mirror the moments in our lives, when we sought clarity and hope. When her followers battle the forces of Shar, they embody the eternal struggle against despair and destruction. Selûne also embodies the power of choice, and this is important indeed. In her story, she chooses to create light in the darkness, to fight for balance even when it seems impossible. Her example reminds us that we, too, have the power to choose, to seek the light, to protect what matters, and to create something beautiful even in the face of adversity. For Dungeon Masters, Selûne offers a wealth of narrative opportunities. Her followers might serve as guides. There are moonlit paths leading the party through dangers both literal and metaphorical. Her enemies, whether they be cultists of Shar, corrupted lycanthropes, or entities that thrive in the shadows, challenge adventurers to confront their fears and fight for the light. And her very presence, subtle yet profound, can shape the tone of an entire campaign. Imagine a world where the moon's light has been obscured, where the balance Selûne protects is under a threat. How do the adventurers restore it? What sacrifices must they make? And what truths will they uncover about themselves along the way? These questions lie at the heart of Selûne's story, and by extension, the stories we tell about her. Ultimately, Selûne's legacy is about hope. It's about the light that continues to shine no matter how dark the night may seem. In the Forgotten Realms and beyond, her influence endures because it speaks to something universal, a truth that resonates across worlds, across stories, and across our own lives. So the next time you gaze up at the moon, whether it's full and radiant or a sliver of silver in the night sky, think of Selûne. Think of her light, her resilience, and her unwavering belief in the beauty of balance. And remember, even in the deepest darkness, the moon will rise again. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of Selûne, the Moon Maiden. I hope you found her story as inspiring and thought-provoking as I did. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment down below. It really helps others discover this podcast. And if you had any thoughts, questions, or ideas about future episodes, I'd love to hear from you. So yeah, definitely leave a comment down below. Until next time, may the moonlight guide your path, and may Selûne's blessing always be with you. This is Light Hand signing off, and stay curious and keep adventuring.